gives me great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Mark Steele.
Right. Well, thanks for that, Eddie. Great to see as many happy faces. You might not be as happy when I'm finished with you. Chris asked us to do this because a lot of people, who knows me? Anybody here? Nobody. Who doesn't? Who hasn't seen any of my stuff before?
Nobody who will admit it.
Exactly. I definitely not Northumbria Police, I can tell you. I invented the world's first binocular wave guide. Right, now Chris asked us to do this because a lot of people don't understand my background. When I say some of the things that I do, they'll go, hang on a minute, how does he know that? I invented that, it's the world's first binocular wave guide, and it was for head-up display systems. The reason I invented it was because I knew about electronic assault weapons on a battlefield. Screens, equipment, I then built it into a motorsports helmet. So we took it from concept, invention, concept, and then into a fully registered DOT ECE 2205. So every product you see there, from those leathers to the bike, to the petrol in it, the helmet, all have to be standardised. You've got international standards you must adhere to, otherwise you can't sell it. That goes for the cup. When you go and buy a cup at Asda, right? When you put hot water in it, you don't expect it to explode. The reason it doesn't explode is because it fits a standard. There's manufacturing processes to make sure that it doesn't do that. It sometimes does happen. So everything has a standard. So I was quite concerned about what I was starting to see. Now, this is a weapon sight system. This is my invention on the right. And what we were doing, we're passing a visual system across the top of the helmet so that it could get full spectrum. The current weapon sight systems use this 560 nanometers wavelength. It's green for a reason. So you see how he's got the green vision system there. The reason it's green is because it's less biologically toxic. So it gives you an idea about optical radiation and how some things can be safer than others and some things are going to be pretty risky. You'll see the blast screen he has. The reason for the blast screen, when you fly into attack, you've got to take out your enemy's radar. Right, so you use what's called ARM. Everybody's heard about ARM missiles, anti-radiation missiles. It's the first form of attack because what they use radar for, it's a weapon system, okay? So that's the main thing. So that's why you go in, he covers his whole face in, because I can take his eyes out. Be well known on a battlefield. So it's one of the things a lot of people don't know about. Okay, so it just gives you an idea. This is the science behind it. So you can see I'm just not saying things for the good of my health. Blue, this blue here, that's the cell death, the level of cell death, all right? And as you get full spectrum, which is just about as bad, and then you get in the green, guess what? That's why they use green weapon sight systems on Apache helicopters, etc., etc. It's because the blue, right, the 450 nanometers is extremely problematic. So you can imagine, my local authority rocked up outside my house in 2016 to put LED streetlights in. They increased the optical radiation hazard from 2000 Kelvin to 6,000 and 7,000 Kelvin. It will kill insects. It will kill most things, ecocide, right? So you've got it, LED streetlights they do cause cancer. Optical radiation is a known hazard. That's why there's only 2 authorities in this country that can actually expose you to optical radiation. One is a lighthouse and one's a port authority. It's a known environmental hazard. So you can imagine, right, the rock up outside my house with this light here, I get myself a bit agitated about it, make a few complaints about it, and they do absolutely zero. They eventually took us to court to try and gag us, because I knew we were in trouble in 2016. This is all part of net zero. They've put illegal lighting in your streets, unsafe. These are category 2s, they're 0.25 a second. So don't think, you know, when people go, such and such is just getting cancer, it doesn't just happen. And not only does it not just happen, why are your public authorities not doing anything about it? The earlier part of the century, cancer was 1 in 100. Now you've got to remember, we're all sat over the top of coal fires, extremely dangerous, yeah? You had power stations, coking works, everything, 1 in 100. It's now 1 in 2, and they're talking about the one being everybody's going to get cancer. I wonder what it could be. Wonder what could be causing it. Now, one of the most dangerous things you can have with any type of optical radiation emitter is what's called flicker. Now, flicker is a problem. I'm not going to get that to play. If this was playing, you'll see the pulsing away, all right? It's a breach of the IEEE standard, right? You never want optical radiation emissions. The maximum in a category 2, 0.25 a second. Now, your government tell you those lights are safe because they're up above you. You can't look at them because it hurt your eyes. Guess what? They've just put them in all the new cars. Anybody having trouble driving around at night? Oh, yeah. Everybody's got sore eyes. You're getting back. They're illegal. They've weaponised the light system, right, to cause you harm. They know about this. They've known from the get-go. Now, I then went on to investigate, obviously, 5G and all the other weaponry type technologies that you see being deployed right across the whole country currently, right? Stuff that most people just don't understand. It's what's called asymmetrical unconventional warfare. Someone's declared war on you, all right? All part of net zero, all part of this climate agenda, right? C40 Digital City. Who's behind it? This clown and his mate, George Soros. C40 City is totally funded by George Soros, Bill Gates, the usual offenders, ultra-low emission zones. But what is quite interesting is this. That's a UK authority document. And what it says is the World Economic Forum chooses Belfast, Leeds and London as... Hang on a minute. Who voted for the World Economic Forum? So you've got a UK authority document going in front of councils, local authorities, and they're being told that it's the World Economic Forum that's choosing your smart cities. That's a bit strange, isn't it? That's not democratic, is it? So, sustainable road transport. Now, when Con fitted his ultra-low emission zone for breathing difficulties, what actually happened, the exact inversion, they had a 30% increase in 999 call-outs for people who couldn't get their breath and a 20% increase in heart attacks. What could be causing it? Now, any sort of issue like that, you have people in your local authority, health authorities, you've got the directors for public health, they're paying themselves 120, 300 grand a year. I mean, fortunes to protect your health. Guess what? You've heard nothing from them. Nothing. Zip. Which tells me a part of a criminal conspiracy to harm you. This equipment was deployed right away across London, right? It's a UNEX traffic unit. It's on a gimbal there. We were told by Transport for London, because as soon as I looked at that and I was watching the Blade Runners chopping it down. Who's the Blade Runners here? Can you just stand up and give them lads a clap? They're heroes. Max likes it. These are not cameras. We were told it was an NPR camera. And the NPR camera only needs a single vision engine. It's got 2. And I thought it's a bit on the big side, because I know what an NPR camera looks like on the back of a cop car. You can see them every day, like a little box of chocolates. Well, that looks a bit big, so off I went to London to see if a couple of the Blade Runners down there, to see if we could get inside of one and actually have a look. What we discovered was a high-speed modem called Gemalto. It was built by Thales, one of the big defence contractors, with Huawei. Huawei's banned. They're a banned technology, especially with a modem. So what controls that? China. It's a Chinese-controlled piece of equipment. This was the unit. What we discovered inside were these multi-photon ionizing radiation emitters. That's a laser symbol there. You can see it with a little circle on it. And that there is a laser. See if I can get this to play and you'll see. Now, that's called flicker. So you can't see it. It's infrared. You're driving around the city. So I'm thinking to myself, well, hang on a minute. If they have deployed this equipment and they haven't done an environmental impact analysis, then what we're going to really see, we're going to start seeing large numbers of people having eye injury, eye problems, right? At the top of the traffic light, I was very interested in this little black box. You can just see it there, but also the grey box on the left-hand side. Because this all looks very interesting. It's all over the place, by the way. You don't have to go to London to see it. That is from London. You don't have to go to London. This is ubiquitous all over the country. The British government made available 6.8 billion. Can't fix your roads, can't fix your hospitals, can't fix anything, but they can spend 6.8 billion, and that clown, right, who's just left there, Keir Starmer, he's just actually had to allocate another 4 billion. There's murders on, because I think they might have a war with Russia, and they're saying, no, the defence industry kind of the money, we need it for the roads, for the cycle paths. Well, it's not for the cycle paths, is it? Multi-photon ionisation is always being known. This picture, this is Newcastle. So as you can see, Newcastle, you've got a stereoscopic unit there. It's called Neurostrike, by the way. That's what the Chinese call it. That thing on the left, 48 infrared laser brain scanner. Unbelievable. On a pedestrian crossing. The other thing, 32 cavity back. So pulsed light is, you'd fail every standard. Right, so you can't have pulsing lights. Unfortunately, because infrared, you can't see them, but you've got to, this is part of the IE 802 15.6. It is a connection between the human body, automotive, car, combination, medical health and human body. It is an all-encompassing connecting you to the transport infrastructure. How you think, well, how are they going to do that? That's the internals of the 48 IR. Now, that's not supposed to be there. I've got the technical documents from this company, and those 48 IR are not in the technical details. So what they're hiding. If it was straightforward and it wasn't a problem, then why are they hiding it? This is here, on the back end of it, is this transmitter, all part of the 5G network, all 802 15.6, all right? So this is all part of this thing. So I'd expect, what would you expect? You'd expect people to have some serious eye problems, wouldn't you? Since the deployment, these are cataracts. Amazing, isn't it? It's the first thing I looked at. I got back and thought, the only thing I can think of, what would happen here, you get loads of people suffering eye injury. Because you can't see it. You can't avert your eyes from it. One of the reasons why people say to me, why do you wear them? The mirror helps to protect you from this invisible radiation emission. It's a breach of the Public Health and Control of Disease Act at 6.6 electron volts. I can get what's called multi-photon ionisation. All of that ionisation, everybody knows that ionising radiation is dangerous, correct? All of that equipment can reach that level. So it's ionising radiation you're being sprayed at. Now, they call it fusion. Fusion's battlefield derived, and what it requires is radar, laser detection, and vision engines. So you've got a radio frequency radiation. This equipment should be categorised as a class 1 cancer because you've got a mix of optical radiation, radar, which all going to pose a significant risk. Never been tested for safety, obviously, and we've got Transport for London have just deployed it all over. Now, we'll hear quite a bit about the flock equipment that's been chopped down in America. This is on the back of what the lads are doing over here, by the way, because Americans have been watching what we're doing, and they're starting to join up. They're joining up the dots. Here you have LiDAR. That's the laser detection. You've got a radar unit on the top there, and that's the directional weapon system. The radar unit is called Senses, all right? Senses ID. The document states there it can monitor every media access code, your Wi-Fi in your vehicle. So when you're driving around the streets, it's looking into your car, it can hear you, it's audio able, see how many passengers in the car, but it can actually identify you, so you know your smartphone. If you use it for facial recognition to open it, or you've got a thumbprint to open it, it knows who you are. So that identifies you. So hang on a minute, if they're using radar, this Senses 2.4 gigs unit, what's the DEW for? What is it for? What could it be for? Because I can tell you now, it ain't what they're telling you what it's for. Scientists camouflage heart rate from invasive radar base. So this radar that they've put up on pedestrian crossings, got no protection from it. It's cancer causing, right? I can initiate a cardiac arrest. If I know your heart rate, I can cause a cancellation wave and I can stop your heart, I can kill you. That equipment is well able to murder you. No two ways about it. It's all over, being put up by councils, all part of this transport infrastructure upgrade. That's what I've been told by Newcastle Council. They spent £23 million and are going to spend a significant more amount to get more of it out there. No environmental impact analysis, just we're the council, we can do what we want. That's what you get from them. They must have a non-ionising radiation sticker on because someone could climb up there and be in the near field and they'd be at significant risk. This is the Unex traffic gun sight. It's actually got a gun sight on it. It's got some radar gun. And so we broke one open and there you can see, for everybody to see. All right, so I'm not making it up. That there is a 24 phased array antenna. It's sitting on a ceramic substrate. Ceramics are only used for high voltage, high power outputs, okay? You don't need them otherwise, you just put them on a PCB board. You've then got a PCB board insulator, you've got an air gap, and the electronics are on the rear side. It's what's called radiation hardened. What I mean by rad hardened, so when I fire that weapon at you in anger, so I'm not just scanning it like that, I'm focusing at you, when it bounces back, it won't burn out the electronics. So it's been built to do harm. Well, it's a gun. It'd actually be classified under the Firearms Act, believe it or not. Coppers are having a bit of struggle with that one at the minute. The AGD unit, 32, cavity backed on a ceramic, right? The unit on the back, it's a 5G antenna. It's called a meandering antenna. It's 5G, and it talks to the 5G network. Now, how you kill with this, you go from, you've got 32 antennas, and what I do is offset the signal to create what's called a focal point. It's called a synthetic aperture. And that synthetic aperture aims the signal at the target. Not that I need to do that. There's other ways to do injury with it. You've got to remember, no environmental impact analysis, no health impact analysis, and everybody's getting ill, and they don't know why. Now, to just focus a point, this radar gun's 12 volt, not main supplied. It's a handheld cop gun. It's what the coppers used to use. They had to stop them using it because they're all getting cancer. The bounce back, coppers stand on the side of the road shooting your car, the bounce back and the side lobe leakage was giving them cancers. There was that many of them getting cancer to stop it, but you see, you could say that was a weapon, but I'll tell you what I would look for. It's not sitting on ceramics. It's sitting on a PCB board. So guess what? I wouldn't be able to identify that as a weapon because it's on a PCB board. So it's just to put things into perspective how that's on a PCB and that causes cancer. There's the patents for it, all right? So if you look at the list on the right-hand side, these are weapon systems to create covert health effects using electromagnetic radiation. This one on the left is a phased array, active phased array. That just means focusing the weapon at you. It was patented as a weapon. Electromagnetic radiation weapon systems, these are the weapon systems that don't want anybody to know about. They've been used covertly for many, many years. Havana syndrome, they were attacking US embassy staff, the Russians, in 1976. So it's something they don't want you to know about. But let's get back to the IE-802, where they're going to connect people to the grid. So they can see you, they can track you, and unfortunately, they can terminate you. It's the 802.15, these are the 5G standards, and it's the wireless body area network, right? How do they do that? Well, Matt the cock there, Andrew's best mate, cocky boy, right? He was scumbag, absolute demon. He's been involved with this from the get-go, by the way, and I have got quite a bit of intel on him. Right? Just tip of the iceberg, this. he was the digital minister, and what he brought in was local authorities are not allowed to do any environmental impact analysis on any of this type of equipment. You give 5G masts, you give them the right to put them up without being able to do an environmental impact analysis, and your local authority have been told they cannot do health impact analysis when they put 5G in. Now, that goes against all your primary legislation. All the primary legislation, risk assessments. I can't even open a restaurant and not have the wrong coloured knives. They'll shut you down. Your council will shut a construction company down because they haven't got the right hat, the right tools. You know what? It's total safety bullshit, most of it. But guess what? They'll allow them to put a 5G mast up down the bottom of your street and no environmental impact analysis. If that doesn't show alarm bells ringing in every council across the country, I mean, if I was a councillor and they said to me, oh, we're going to put a 5G mast and you're not allowed to check the environment and the environmental effect, that would make me think, wouldn't it? It would make anybody think. What they actually did, Matt's admitted chipping you on behalf of Bill Gates. Now, it's a graphite ferritic nanometal material. If anybody's had it, you can't mitigate it. The first day I met Andrew, unfortunately, I said to him, can I test you with a near-dear magnet? And he went, not here. We'll have to go around the corner. Me, Phil, Graham took Andrew round the corner, and he was good enough to let us test him, and the magnet stuck to the contaminants in his deltoid. They're nanometal materials, and what it does, it allows me to track you in that space, and it's all part of this IE 802 15.6 standard. That scumbag, not only was he the minister, digital minister, he then became the health minister and obviously pushed the Bill Gates tracking technology. That's the scientific study on it. 55 unknown, undeclared chemical elements, and the ones that I was really interested in are lanthanides. 15 cytotoxic lanthanides, and the reason for that is they're already tested on soldiers on a battlefield. So if I've got a soldier on a battlefield and I can see his heart rate, and if I lose him, right, I know he's dead. I can look at him on a computer screen. It's like playing a game. And that's like one of these new games. So I'm watching my soldiers on a battlefield. One gets slotted, and that's him gone. And I can see it all. So that's where the technology was developed. That's what ended up in a lot of people's deltoids as a tracking technology. So we saw it coming pretty early on. It's linked with the data centres. Now think about it. Every single local authority is allowing these data centres to get built. Yeah? They're a total breach of their environmental legislation. They use massive amounts of power. Though it's supposed to be reducing our power. It's all about reducing your power when it comes to net zero, but not when it's up to them to build their data centres. I mean, it's absolute nonsense. They're extremely dangerous because once they get these AI operating platforms up, they will be able to look down to a mesoscopic level. They'll be able to scan you on your pedestrian crossings. Well, they won't where the Blade Runners are because they're chopping them down. Right? They won't be able to do it there. In fact, I'm having a bit of a problem. In fact, Blade running is running into a lot of problems with the cops. They're actually not charging them. They're arresting them, taking them in, interviewing them. We've got all the data. These are weapon systems. You are entitled under UK law and international law. You can remove them. 5G. Now, the British government said there's going to be no more radiation when they bring 5G in. Yeah? So that is a theoretical model of 5G, which increases getting a bit warm, isn't it? Isn't it a bit warm lately? Yeah? Well, no wonder. The more you put in, now these transmitters, for the 5G densification, right, it's expected that they're going to be every half a kilometre, right? That's what they say. Every half a kilometre you're going to see a 5G mast. So this picture's from Leeds. I can see 4 telecoms masts, 3 5G masts. It's in one photograph. They're not half a kilometre away. What they're playing at? Where's the planners? I mean, imagine being part of the planning authority and they go, we're going to put 3 masts next to each other. You would come, well, hang on a minute, they're supposed to be half a kilometre away from each other. No, they're just doing what they want. It's like the Wild West. We're caught. There was I think Nicholas Martin, right, and Ian Jarvis found there was about 500 documents had been faked for the safety. There's no safety in 5G, nonsense. That faked, a company had been set up and faked 500. Now that's tendering a false instrument. Guess what? You reported to the police, and guess what the police done? Just like Operation Tala, zip, nothing. Nothing to see here, move along. Tendering a false instrument is a criminal offence. The reason for that, and the reason why the police are conspiring with these organisations to do it, the main blanket coverage for 5G sub-gig, long range. Remember the story used to get off them all the time? You need them every few metres because the millimetre waves don't travel very far in air. Absolute garbage. Total nonsense. These are ceramic heads that phased array. It's a weapon system, not for your telecommunications. All right? This document is from Ericsson, the bottom one, and what it says is the 5G network rollout is impossible for safety. That's Ericsson, that's an industry document. They say it can't be done. Guess what? Perfectly safe. You speak to anybody in the government, it's not perfectly safe. Well, what it really is, 5G, that's what 5G is. It's a battlefield. It's the future battle space. I would play the drone video. I think we might be able to get it playing there. Let's have a look, see what this is. Right. We've seen a lot of drone activity. Now, drones need to geolocate themselves, all right? So if I've got a total mesh network, right, I can get the drone to like see where it is in a 3D space. Because after they've shot you on the pedestrian crossing, that's what's coming next. Make no mistake about it, what these criminals have done to her, they're planning something absolutely horrific. But like I said before, they need the data centres up before they can do that. Because the data centre is going to be able to control that drone. AI is going to be able to control that drone directly in on target. That's what the 5G battlefield is. Now, the other day I had some people contact me very concerned about what BT are putting up on these telegraph poles. These are audio-able, right, so it's actually listening to spine tech. This one was outside of the Travellers Rest in Sunnyside, so everybody's sitting in the pub, having a bit chit-chat. Just be very careful what you're saying. I know they're listening on your mobile phone, but you've got to be very careful around this tech because it can hear you. Now, when would you ever, in history, think that BT, Openreach, really wanted to spy on you 24/7? It's all illegal. It's all breaching GDPR. They are fibre optic, and that the way it's curled like that, right, specifically so they can hear you in your own streets. This is Sunnyside, a small pit village. On top of there, you've got the Senses unit, right, and you've also got a phased array 32 cavity back. What could it really be? Well, what we do know is they are planning to harm us, okay? Danger lithium batteries, you see them all the time blown up, yeah? The US government are basically saying that time bombs, well, there are time bombs. See that 5G mast? I can focus a beam directly at it and explode it. I can activate it, I can overcharge it and I can blow it up on you, just like a dirty bomb. This study, any local authority, local authority pushing net zero, the study's just come out of Germany, it's hot off the press, and what it says is, inside an electric vehicle, it is a minimum, whether it be a hybrid, whether it be a bus or a train, it's a minimum 100 micro Tesla. Might mean a lot to a lot of people, but it's 20 times over the ICNIRP guidance. That means it'll cause sterility, cancer, that's every single, so any local authority pushing you into an electric vehicle or trying to encourage you into electric vehicles, I've just had it out with NECA, North East Combined Authority, they've made hundreds of millions of pounds available to go North East to buy buses to put kids in for school to sterilise them. Absolutely unbelievable. And the other issue with these type of vehicles, this one was a diesel, well, a hybrid diesel at Luton Airport. And obviously the battery got on fire. Now, the guy who obviously had it, the diesel tank was pretty empty. So it just got hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, and it blew. £6 million worth of damage. One vehicle, can you imagine? That's the sort of thing that will get you banned straight away. But guess what? Nobody's banning it because what they want you in them so they can actually sterilise you. Now, one of the things a lot of people don't understand, you do not need a lot of power of microwaves to kill you or injure you, right? Small amounts will do the trick. Impact of electromagnetic radiation fields. Now, this study was done on all of the published peer-reviewed papers that they could get their hands on. So a total assessment of all of the published work. And what it says is electromagnetic radiation, fertility, sterility, kids in particular. When did they ever tell you how dangerous your Wi-Fi was? When did anybody ever give you warning? When do you ever see it in the media? It was like the safe and effective, wasn't it? Nobody actually told you any of this. They didn't tell you that lower-level microwave signals can cause you to have a heart attack. Death by seizure can also cause neurological pathologies like a stroke, right? All well known in the industry. One of the things I can do when we're not using a lot of power, right, is cause what's called relay. And all I have to do is create a counterclockwise spin. Your blood is clockwise. So what I do is I get you to run the spin the other way. Don't need a lot of power. Just change the polarity and you will get what's called relay or rouleau. Depends how you pronounce the French. I do it like a Geordie, right? Like relay. Well, I don't know. I'll have to get some French kid to tell us. Anyway, all part of the same standard. They weren't kidding, right? Earth Summit 92, right? September, right? They stated clearly they want to sterilise you, they want to abort you, and they want to genocide you. So the same characters who are pushing your electric vehicles, your low emission zones, your climate emergency, right? That's what they want to do. That's the plan. It's in black and white. That's their document. You can't find it. They're not shy. Klaus Schwab's not shy. He's already told you what he's going to do. He's going to strip you of all your assets. You will own nothing and they're going to have everything. And you're going to be happy. Well, you're probably not going to be happy. You're probably going to be dead. Because they're not planning for you to be happy, are they really? Let's be honest. I mean, that's another one of their lies. Now, obviously, Blade Runners, can we get another round of applause for the Blade Runners? Hey, hey. You know, hey. Blade Runners, your country needs you. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, right, this is fracturing that system. Because the coppers have got to come out, they've got to nick you, they've then got to see the evidence. So the coppers are getting evidence going, whoa, I had 2 cops at my house. And I tested both with a magnet, and they both went out. They went, what's it all about? I went, they're going to kill you lot. Because I'm not shy either. I'll just tell them how it is, straight off the hip. I went, they're going to murder you. And I will tell them till the cows come home. That's exactly what they're going to do, by the way. Public sector workers, council workers, police, military, they were very, very forceful about making sure that most of the coppers got the tracking technology injected into them. Now, Criminal Damage Act, you have a defence in law. You only have to believe it. I can prove it. But you only, in your true belief, right, it's justified, you can actually destroy it. You can take it out. So it's got to be a true belief, by the way. So I always say to people, understand the technology. Don't take my word for it. You must understand the technology. So if you were to do anything, it has to be what's happening in your head at that time. I always tell people as well, get a duty solicitor, because I like to get the evidence. If you don't get one, they won't give you it. Coppers, to basically breach pace. So let's just see how you do the New World Order. During the day, right? How is son? Get it going there. Oh no, it hasn't like. You can see it only takes it only takes a second or so. Right. Watch this wife walking past, she's like, go on son, get that down. Timber. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So the great thing is we've still got some heroes left in this country, right? We've still got some heroes about, right? You're doing nothing wrong. You have a right in law to do that. Don't believe what they say. These are weapon systems. Matt Houston's case, I was supposed to be up in court, part of his defence as a witness, because went down to London. I showed his legal team what they've deployed on top of them in Transport for London. Transport for London, by the way, say the radar doesn't exist. I've got it documented. I've got 2 statements from them to say it doesn't exist. Well, it does exist because we've got them. Right, we've been inside them, and actually that's what the lads were chopping down. So how can they say it doesn't exist? It's ludicrous. So we've got his court case was supposed to be, we've been waiting 2 years for this case. Anyway, we went down, 5-day trial. At the last minute, right, there was a pre-trial hearing on the Thursday. I dropped the mother load on them, right? So it's irrefutable because I know there's about 9 cops. They've got 3 other witnesses. All they've had to be booked out for that trial. And guess what? On the Friday, they came back, emergency session, and went, not happening. Not happening. We're putting it back at the back end of 2027. They're desperate to get into these non-jury trials, right, so that the jury don't get to know, right? If the jury find out what your British government are funding to murder you, it's all Chinese controlled, right? That's what it is. Anyway, I think it's Andrew's turn now to...
Mark, I think that was the longest 10-minute presentation. And I've heard some speeches, some shockers.